Okay, so this is last unit stuff. You know how to do this. If the sine of angle A is negative 3/5 and the angle is not in quadrant 4, where is it? So I'm going to go down to this bottom area. Okay, here's what I know. I know it's not in quadrant 4. Where are you going to be? Sine, negative, but not in quadrant 4. So where's sine going to be negative then? Quadrant. Should you pick 3? Can you draw yourself the trig triangle? Which side of that triangle is the negative 3? Do you remember your so you're really cute, X-rated, thank you, excellent stuff. So you're really, so I need to do the Y side with a negative 3, and I need to do the R side with a 5. I need to do that side. How am I going to do it? Can you do a 5 squared subtract 3 squared? 25 minus 9 is 16. So this is 4, but I already am thinking negative because of where it is. Okay, so I'm going to write this. So we already knew the sine of A is negative 3/5. The cos of A, what's the cos of A? Negative 4/5. Cute, X-rated. Tan of A, thank you, excellent. Okay, now here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to our formula sheet, and this says, what would the sine value be if we doubled this angle? That's what this is meaning. It's double angle. So can you find something on your formula sheet that says the sine of a doubled angle? The sine of a doubled angle is, and here's a formula. So I'm just going to copy this down right now. 2 sine A cos A. Okay, so like yesterday, I gave myself some brackets because I'm going to replace those with a trig value. And we wrote them down. So now you just look on your sheet. What did we write for sine A? Negative 3/5. And cos A, we wrote negative 4/5. And I'm going to write the 2 in the front, if it helps my brain. I'm going to write it as 2 over 1, just so I can see everything with fractions. Okay, so what is the top? So what's 2 times negative 3 times negative 4? Positive or negative? Positive 24. What's the bottom? What's 1 times 5 times 5? 25. Okay, cos 2A. This one's a little bit different because look at, there's 3 options. 3 different options. Does it matter? No. You can pick whichever one you want. We're all going to get to the same answer. If you pick this, your partner picked that, you should get to the same number. I'm going to pick the first one. Okay, and again, if you want to try a different one to prove that you can do the same as me, that'd be great. But this is the one I'm going to pick. Okay, so I'm going to go something squared minus something squared. And now fill in. What did we write? I'm just copying now. We wrote cos of A needs to be a negative 4/5. Sine of A a lot of this stuff I don't want you using your calculator for, because this would be, I haven't touched it. You probably won't have this on your exam where you have a calculator even. Plus, I feel like people mess up with negatives more when they use their calculator. What happens when you square anything? Positive, right? Okay, so let's square. So 16, 25. That's all you're doing there. Minus, and again, this is going to be positive, so 9 over 25, which is going to make 7 over 25. Okay, so this one, you have two options on how to do this kind of question. So you could use the formula. Okay, everybody can see there's a formula here. You could use that formula. I'm not going to. But option one, you could use that formula that you could see on your sheet there. Option two. So what did we talk about? Tan. Tan is it's a y over an x, right? Instead of y, that's a sine. Instead of x, that's a cos. Okay, so if I do the sine of a double angle divided by a cos of a double angle, that's the same as a tan double angle. The reason I'm picking this option over that option is because I had those values. That's why I'm picking it. Okay, so sine double A, that's 24 over 25. Cos of the double angle is 7 over 25. You're going to flip, multiply. Do you want me to write that out, or do you understand what's going to cancel? 25s would just be gone at that point. Do you see that? The flip, multiply. So it'd be 24 over 7. And the last one. What is secant the flip of? Cos. So you're flipping that. So look at your cos 2a. That's your cos 2a. Flip that fraction. So 25 over 7. Okay, so see how all that stuff you know how to do is just throwing a little bit of a curve in it. Okay. So here's what I did. I gave you the cos of 48. And I want you to figure out what the cos of 96 would be. And this is going to be from your formula sheet. So can anybody tell me what's the relationship between 48 degrees and 96 degrees? What did you say? It doubles. Okay, that's the relationship. That's a double. So where do you think I'm going to look on my formula sheet if I'm looking at a doubled angle? I'm looking at a double angle. Okay, there's 3 options for formulas. You have to use one of these. The other 2 you can't use. So which one of these 3 options on my formula sheet do I use because of the given information? The third one. Yep. So why do I have to use the third one? Because I know the cos of A value. This is what the cos of A is. Because angle A is 48, doubled A is 96, right? A equals 48, the doubled angle is the 96. So that's why I have to pick this one. Okay, so 2 times cos A squared minus 1. So that's what I replace cos A with. Okay, there's no way I can use these because I don't know what the sine of A is, so that's why I can't use them. Okay, I'm just typing this in for you so you can all write it down. Okay, same kind of stuff, XYR stuff here. It told me that angle A is this, angle B is this. They're both in the same quadrant. So let's do some quadrant stuff. So these are 2 different angles here. Okay, so what do I know about angle A? What do I know about angle B? Angle A has a negative cos value. So I could be on the left-hand side. Where is angle B if tan is positive? Those diagonals. And then it told me this, both angles are in the same quadrant. So which one should I pick? Looks like the third. Okay, so I'm going to draw my trig triangles. Okay, angle A. Which side are you putting the -7 on? Cos. I need a -7. I need a 25 on that triangle. XYR stuff. Where are you putting the -7? And the 25. That one works out nicely to be 24. Positive or negative? Down. Okay, so this is what I know about A. The sine is negative 24 over 25. And the cos is negative 7 over 25. Okay, now B. On B, can you give me a 15 and an 8? Where are you going to put the 15? Where are you going to put the 8? Remember your letters. Thank you. Excellent. So did you put a 15 there and an 8 there? Why does that not seem right? They both are negative, which is why, as I wrote it positive. Ooh, that one's nice. That one's a 17. Okay, so write me the sign of that one and the cos of that one. So do you see how maybe you've started to memorize these? Y over R, X over R. Okay, you know what? We haven't even figured out what the question is yet. We haven't even started the question. Here's the question. Figure out the cos value of the angle, the new angle, if you were to subtract the angles. Okay, so here's the formula. What's the cos value of A minus B? Grab your sheet. Cos A minus B. Did you find a formula that looked like that from your sheet? Just like yesterday, we did this formula quite a bit. And then underneath that, can you draw me up 4 brackets to make replacements into? Okay, your hard work is done. So now copy into the brackets. I got this chart here for you, so then you go negative 7/25. Okay, this kind of confused people, so I'm just going to touch base with it. Whatever you get, that's your answer. At this point, you don't think about Astica because you already did all your Astica stuff. So why did this end up positive? So remember, if you were to take this angle and subtract this angle, I don't exactly know what the angles are right now. If you took this angle, subtract this angle, does anybody want to predict where you might land? If you had a number like this, subtract a number like this, I'm not sure, closest, you would probably get into quadrant 1. And what's the cos there? Positive, and that's why that's positive. Okay? It's the same as when we did this one. We were here. What would you do if you doubled this? If you doubled it, you would land up at the top, which is why these ones are different, right? This is negative, but now it's positive. It's because when you double the angle, now you're into another quadrant, okay? Does that make sense? Okay, so then one more question. Okay, here's my A, here's my B. Let's talk about astica. Okay, cosecant, so I'm not going to talk cosecant. What am I going to actually think about with cosecant? I'm going to think about sine, and I'm going to think about sine being positive. So A could be in a top somewhere. And then B, tan positive. Then the next thing says that neither angle's in quadrant 1, so it can't be there. So these angles are in different spots. So here's my triangle for A, and here's my triangle for B. Okay, so that's step 1, quadrant astica stuff. Okay, on A, I need you to put me a 4 and a 5 somewhere on that triangle with your letters. I need a 4 and a 5 somewhere. You know your letters for that? That's an R, and that's a Y. So R5, Y4. Maybe some of you have your 3, 4, 5 triangle memorized. Positive or negative 3? Be negative. Okay, so I'm going to fill in my little chart organizer. Okay, you ready to go to B? Put a 12 and a 5 on that triangle. Thank you, excellent. You know what? These are both negative. Would you have caught that? $13 is that one. So give me your chart. Negative 12/13. Okay, so the question says, what's the cos value if you added these angles together? What would the cos value be there? So what are you doing? Grabbing your sheet, looking for something. Cos A plus B. You find a formula. You give me 4 brackets. Okay, you're ready to plug in. You did all the hard work, so just copy down what you had written. Okay, part B now says, well, what's the sine value if you added these angles together? So go through the same process where you grab your formula sheet, give me 4 brackets, You copy exactly from the chart above. Okay, very, very last question, just what's the coordinate of the point? So how do you write coordinates? You always write a coordinate like that, right? An x, comma, a y. So if I'm talking about trig, what do x values show us? They show us cos values, right? And what do y values always show us? Sine values. So what did we write here above? The cos was this, comma, the sine was that.